Hey family, today I wanted to touch on the abortion topic. You are going to have to please excuse the background noise. I do my videos in the car when I'm on the go, and the AC has gone out in my car just in time for the rain to stop here in Texas. So I'm hot and I will be rolling down the windows, but I wanted to speak on this topic because it is near and dear to me on so many levels. But the topic of abortion. Last night, Alabama made it illegal to get an abortion for any reason, be it rape, incest, anything. No abortions. Any doctor caught performing abortions in the state of Alabama faces up to 99 years in prison. Alright? Now, how I feel on the matter. I personally don't feel that the same government who decides whether or not people who have committed certain crimes live or die should decide what a woman does with her body. When they can get these police to stop shooting unarmed black men, then we can discuss what a woman can and cannot do with her own fucking body. Let's start there. Alright? Now, as for me and myself personally, I am pro-life. I do not believe in abortions at all. I do believe that they are, however, medically necessary at times, but I do not feel that it should be used in the place of the morning after pill or birth control. Both are readily available. Birth control is readily available. You can get condoms from anywhere, free. Women, birth control is practically free. I promise you. Go to Planned Parenthood. They'll put you on whatever birth control you want and just tell them you can't afford the shit and boom, you got it. Alright? For those of you who know you never want children, there's permanent options. Get your tubes tied, clipped, and burned. Get a fucking hysterectomy. For you dudes, if you know you don't want fucking kids, get that shit clipped. Alright? They got surgery for y'all too. They also have birth control for men. So, with all of these options that are available, I don't think that an abortion should be your go-to because that one night stand went wrong, or because that situationship wasn't the relationship you thought it was, or because you're trying to spite someone. Yes, there are women who get abortions to spite men. Not all of these greedy bitches is out here having babies by anybody to collect child support. These bitches will also kill a man's baby to spite him. And I don't feel like it should be used for that. But it is. But is that my decision to make? No. Is that your decision to make? No. Is it the government's decision to make? Hell no. Alright? Ladies, gentlemen, if you don't want children right now, and you're not going to abstain from sex altogether, then use protection or get on birth control. That simple. Alright? Stop creating life that you know you're not prepared to take care of at that time. Now, with that being said, like I said, I'm pro-life. I would not get an abortion unless it was medically necessary. I have had a medically necessary abortion back in 2010. I was on Mirena, the birth control IUD. I got pregnant. I did not even know I was pregnant. I separated from my husband and went to the doctor for chest pain, and when they did my pregnancy test to see if it was safe to do an x-ray or not, I discovered I was pregnant. Alright? When I went in for a prenatal visit, we discovered that the pregnancy was in my fallopian tubes. Extremely dangerous. So, what they were hoping is because what they were saying is that it looked like the baby had not implanted in the fallopian tube. They were hoping they could remove the Mirena and the baby would travel the rest of the way down into my uterus and implant there. That's not what happened. So, it induced a miscarriage, and just to save me any complications from the miscarriage itself, especially since the baby was in my tubes, they went ahead and did an abortion. All right? Now, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, windows down before I die. All right? In 2004, I was raped. All right? It was not the last time I was raped, but it is the last time that I was raped and I got pregnant from it. All right? I took the morning after pill the morning after the situation happened. I went to Planned Parenthood, didn't have to pay a dime. All right? Filled out some paperwork. That was that. A month later, I did not get my period. I took a pregnancy test, found out I was pregnant. I said, oh well, looks like we're having a baby. All right? So, I don't believe in abortions unless it's medically necessary. But I don't feel like it's my right to push my choice on anyone else. You religious people of all people ought to know this, but y'all are good at being hypocrites. You're not supposed to force your religion on anybody, but y'all shame people who aren't Christians. You're not supposed to force any of your own personal beliefs on anyone. You can offer advice, you can offer an opinion, but to force your personal opinion or decision on someone else because of how you feel about it, that's wrong. All right? What a woman does with her body is her choice. Her reasoning for it, that's her. That's for her to deal with. Maybe she's not financially equipped to take care of a child at that point in time. Maybe she's got a bunch of kids already and she's not able to financially afford another child. Maybe mentally she's got some issues going on and she know it is not best for her to be bringing a child into the world. Whatever the situation or her reasoning for it, that's her decision to make. Not yours, not the government's. Stop shaming people for doing what they feel is best for them in their situations. A lot of these women don't fucking need kids. Period. I already made a video on the Steven Sarandon Barnes guy. Alright? I haven't made the video yet on the most recent child death in which this asshole in Houston killed his girlfriend's 2-year-old daughter while she was out of town. And that shit is fishy. I think that the mom had something to do with it. The lady had 2 kids. She had the little girl who was 2 years old. Then she wasn't with that child's father anymore. She got with this other guy and she had this 1-year-old child with him. He makes up this bizarre story about getting hit over the head and waking up, and his son was there, but his daughter wasn't. And they conveniently dropped him off around the corner from his house, even though that's not where he got hit over the head and fucking kidnapped at. Then she comes back in town with holes in her story, saying, first of all, that she left and went out of town to take care of her father who was dying, only to find out that her father actually died a full week and a half before she even left to go out of town. Then she says that she broke off the engagement with the boyfriend that has killed the daughter, supposedly, She broke off the engagement, gave him his ring back, and then left her child with him and went out of town. So now I think the child was dead before the bitch even left. People like that don't need kids, don't deserve kids. Because it would have been much easier on that child had she been aborted than dying the way that she did. That's not fair. And it's not fair to force that on any child because you don't know what type of situation you're putting them into by telling this woman she cannot have an abortion. Welfare ain't easy to get on. Yeah, you can get food stamps and Medicaid and housing, but do you know the loopholes and the bullshit that you gotta do to get on that shit? I went and got on food stamps 2 years ago. I then got a job. And when I got the job, my food stamps went from $300 and something a month to $7.38 a month. And the job that I had, I still could not afford to pay my bills, let alone put food in the house. You're asking women in those type of situations to bring another child into the world that they can't afford and that the government isn't going to help them take care of. Daycare. I'm not for it. But me and my husband own our own business, so I don't have to worry about daycare. But at one point I did, and for one child, I paid $340 fucking a month for daycare. My rent was $950 a month. My electric was another $100 and something a month. Other bills, groceries, toiletries, shit. And you're asking women in these type of situations to not get an abortion and just bring that child into the world to suffer and be hungry and go without because the government said you can't kill that child. Now let that child's father do something or that child's mother do something that they consider bad enough, they'll kill them. Lethal injections and fucking electrocution. Adoption is a joke. They're being abused in these foster homes and in these foster groups. That's not fair either. You don't know who the fuck is adopting these kids. Really? When it's all said and done, they can make it look like peaches and roses on a piece of paper. Yeah, they might have never got caught doing a damn thing, so they might not have a criminal record, but you don't know what type of heinous shit goes on behind closed doors with some of these people. And you're saying you can't get an abortion, have that baby, and force it to suffer once it's here, rather than putting it out of its misery before it has a chance to experience true misery. So while I'm pro-life, and I personally wouldn't not get an abortion, I do see how it is a woman's choice on whether to make that decision or not. Not mine, not yours, definitely not the government. Who is the government to tell me what's best for me and mine? Or you and yours? Or them and theirs? I think they need to step the fuck out of people's households and worry about the shit that the government needs to worry about. Like why the public schools are not being funded equally across the board. Like why we are injecting our children with vaccinations that are supposedly safe, but they contain mercury, formaldehyde, lead. Mercury, you can't touch mercury. I don't know how old some of y'all are, but do you remember when they used to bring the ball of mercury to school and you had to wear gloves to handle the little tray that the mercury was in, and you could move the bowl and watch it move around? All right, showing my age a little bit. Mercury is so dangerous that if they drop the vaccination needle, they have to shut down the entire clinic, and hazmat has to come in and do their hazmat fuck shit before they can open the establishment back up. But they're injecting you with it because the government says it's safe for us. And now the government is telling women what they can and cannot do with their bodies. The shit is fucking ridiculous. So I'm just giving all ends of the perspective on it. Like I said, I've had a medically necessary abortion, and then I've been raped and not had an abortion because I just really and truly don't believe in the shit. I just knew at that point in time when I did have one that it was for the best, so that there were no complications and nothing happened to me, so that I was able to take care of my other children. So think about it. I know a lot of y'all are pro-life and like, if you don't want babies, close your fucking legs. But what are we asking these women to bring these babies into if we're gonna force them to have them? A boyfriend that's gonna kill them or rape them, or a mama that's gonna hate them and resent them? Suffering, being hungry, going without, because somebody else said it's wrong for you to do that to your body. You can't do that. So think about it. I've given you my perspective. Think about it. Drop an opinion if you have one. I'm out. It's hot. Gotta roll down the windows.